Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today's going to be a Holy Priest guide where I'm going to be teaching you talents, basic abilities, talents for Mythic Plus, talents for Raid, the legendaries you should be running, weak ores and add-ons that help me throughout my climb, and a whole bunch more, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so hopping into this, we're going to go over talents. So right now, we're running Trails of Light. When you cast Heal or Flash Heal, 30% of the heal is replicated on the previous target you've healed with a Heal or Flash Heal. This is extremely good for Mythic Plus. Since your party size is so small, you're always getting that 35% almost. As long as you keep alternating targets, like on Prides, on big pools, you're going to get that 30% heal. On the second layer here, we have these three options. We have Angel's Mercy, Body and Soul, and Angelic Feather. Now, really, you're going to use this for your mobility slide. Since Priest is such a slow spec and slow class, you're going to want to go more of like the Body of Soul or Angelic Feather. I currently run Body of Soul. I believe you get more value out of the 5 targets you can cast on after a Pride, and you don't lose any mana of it. The more mana efficient would be Angelic Feather. It's also a bit more difficult to use. So if you're just starting off playing Holy Priest, maybe stick to Body and Soul. It's a lot easier to apply, a lot easier to upkeep. But Angelic Feather is also a very viable option. So on tier 3 here, we're going to be going into Cosmic Ripple, Guardian Angel, and Afterlife. Now, Guardian Angel is probably going to be the one you play almost 100% of the time. Guardian Angel, when your Guardian Sphere expires without saving the target from death, reduces the remaining cooldown to 60 seconds. This allows you to pop Guardian Angel on big pools just for that additional healing. Now, if you don't know what Guardian Angel does, Guardian Angel is increasing their healing received by 60%, and if they die, it revives them to 40% HP. You're also castable while stunned. So you're able to keep a 60% healing increase on that target every minute if you can keep that up. Now on tier 4, you have basically 2 options. You have Censure or Shining Force. The only time I would run Shining Force if it's raging or if you're having specific problems in a specific dungeon, like let's say Sanguine Depths or that Gauntlet or something. The good thing about this is it's like a decent Ring of Peace, or Typhoon even. It pushes back everyone from that tank or whoever you cast it on quite a few yards, and then it slows them by 70%. So this is why it's good in raging. It saves your tank from having to kite as much if you're not running a DH or something. It's a pretty good ability to have in raging. Now Censure would be your main like kick or interrupt. It's still a good interrupt without this upgrade, Holy War Chastise, but Censure will make it's a 4-second stun. Not a huge benefit, but it's a benefit nonetheless. So we're going to go into the next one. Surge of Light. Surge of Light is almost needed whenever you're running Mythic Plus. Your healing spells and smites have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal and instant cast and cost no mana. This is where you get your mana efficiency from. This is where you get one of your instant cast from. This is where flash concentration, which we'll get into later in the video, will really excel. It allows you to keep your stacks up more constant. It allows you to stay high on mana. It's also just better than all these. Binding Heal, really difficult to get off and doesn't do a whole lot. In Prayer Circle, if you're running flash concentration, it's not what you need. If you're running another legendary, which I'll get into the video, you could run that. But for Mythic Plus, run Surge of Light. Now, the 45 tier, you have basically 2 options in Mythic Plus. You have Benediction, which has a 20% chance to leave Renew after casting Paramending, and you have Divine Star. So Divine Star is beneficial when you can hit 3 allies and 3 enemies, or 4 enemies and 2 allies. That's when you become mana efficient. That's when it becomes beneficial. So if you know that you're gonna have big pools and you want to pump a little bit extra more damage and your heals should be fine, Divine Star is awesome. Great cooldown, 15-second cooldown. A lot of damage. You'll be pumping like 1.2k DPS, 1.3 if you run this talent. If you do not run this talent and you run Benediction, you'll be pumping about 1k 900 DPS instead. And Benediction also helps you with your Pride. So if you're having problems in Pride, you can always run Benediction. There's a weak core I'm going to show you guys that shows you when to cast Prayer Mending, and like every time it's up, it's a super mana efficient spell. Always keep that up. Always keep that 100% uptime if you can. And the last one, really, there's only one choice for Mythic Plus, which is Apotheosis. So Apotheosis resets the cooldown of your holy words and enters Pure Holy form for 20 seconds, increasing cooldown reductions to your holy words by 300%, and reducing their cost by 100%. So that means your holy wards like Holy Word Sanctify or Holy Word Serenity, Holy Word Sanctify, and there's a couple others that you're gonna have like Holy Word or Holy Word Chastise. That's gonna be the other one. And if you run another talent, you'll get that other one. But these will all be reset to 0 cooldown, and they will become purely 0 mana. So what you do is you'll blow all those cooldowns and then pop Apotheosis to recharge them all for big bursts of healing. Also, it saves you some mana. Okay, and so that was the Mythic Plus talents. Now we're going to go into Raid. So Raid, you have 2 options. You have Trails of Light or New Faith. If you're running Benediction, which we'll get to later, you should probably run a New Faith. It's just going to increase your healing on targets by 10% when that Benediction lays off one of the renews, which is, it's honestly pretty good. And Trails of Light is that 30% of the healing casted on one will replicate on the other. It's kind of hard to keep on raids, but I just did this talent right here, and I got a 99 parse on the Heroic Sludge, so not too bad. Honestly, it's a pretty good. If you use it correctly, it's going to be good. The next one, so you have another 2 options. Body of Soul, Angelic Feather. Those are going to be your 2 options. Every once in a while, if you're taking major damage and you cannot save yourself, Angel's Mercy is not a bad talent either. So on tier 30, you're going to have Cosmic Ripple. Cosmic Ripple should be the one you're running. When Holy Word Serenity or Holy Word Sanctify finishes their cooldown, you burst the healing around you, healing 785. That's just going to keep a little bit of a top up, okay? Because we have a passive ability that leaves a hot on someone after they've been healed by us. So it just keeps your healing up a little bit higher. 35. None of these are a great choice. Honestly, none of these are going to matter. Next one here, Surge of Light. Surge of Light if you're running Flash Concentration Legendary in Mythic, or in Raid, sorry. I believe Flash Concentration is the best for Raid. So some people are going to be running Harmonious Apparatus, which reduces the cooldowns of your Holy Words by a certain amount every time you cast an ability. So if you're running that, you can also run Prayer Circle, which using Prayer Circle reduces the cast time of your Prayer of Healing. If you're running that legendary, like I said though, Flash Concentration I think will be in. If it's the only legendary you can craft Flash Concentration. Your next one after will be Benediction. You're going to be casting Paramending 100% uptime on raid. That is your main ability. That's your main goal, is to cast Benediction. That's going to be reducing your overheal. That's going to be making sure everyone keeps topped up. It's going to be a really good ability for you to keep. You also have Halo if you're running Harmonious Apparatus, like I said. You can run Halo. It's a very good spell, heals a lot, but Benediction is easier to keep up of. You just hit one button every 10 seconds. Pretty good. So the last one, you only have one option, which is Holy Word Salvation. Holy Word Salvation is your major cooldown as a priest. It heals all allies within 40 yards, 2,000, replies anew, and 2 stacks of Paramending. Now, if you think about it, you're running Paramending with Benediction, you're also running Renewed Faith. All those things stack onto each other, and it heals a lot more than 2,000. It looks like it's not that great, but it heals probably more like 5,000, 6,000 over time. That's quite a bit of health to heal on the whole party, the whole raid. So yeah, that would be your major cooldown. And that's the talents for raid. Pretty simple. And we'll be going into legendaries now. The 2 legendaries that you are going to see on Holy Priest is Harmonious Apparatus and Flash Concentration. Every once in a while, you'll see a Twins of the Sun Priestess. That's better for Shadow. Honestly, sometimes better for Disc. But the Holy Priest legendaries are going to be Flash Concentration and Holy Apparatus. I'm going to recommend 99.9% of the time, if you can only build one legendary, build Flash Concentration. It's the best overall. It's going to be the best one for you to start off on. And it is the best for Mythics. And probably, I would say, the best for Raid. Personal opinion. Now, Flash Concentration, each time you cast a Flash Heal has a cast time reduced by 0.2 seconds and healing increased by 3%, up to 5 times. So when you do the math, your heal becomes the same cast time as your Flash Heal. It also becomes like, it kind of becomes 15% more effective, right? So 15% more effective is an insane amount of more healing. It's also super mana efficient. You're never gonna have mana problems with this legendary. It's a great legendary. Now, Harmonious Apparatus, I would say, would be more of the raid legendary. I would say Flash Concentration, Home Release Apparatus are really close. I would still say Flash Concentration is the best, but pretty close. Circle of Healing reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Serenity, and Prayer Bending reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Serenity, and Holy Fire reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Chastise by 4 seconds each time you cast them. So this just allows you to get these big raid heals up a lot quicker, more consistent. But like I said, I've been parsing 99s, 98s with Flash Concentration. I think it's a great legendary. Alright guys, so we're now in the stats portion of the guide. So stat wise, you're going to be wanting to focus the stats more as crit mastery and then nexus haste. After that, you really don't want to avoid it. Obviously you want your main stat, intellect, which you're going to get. But crit mastery should be the way you look at it. We also, every time we have a socket, we're going to apply that haste buff, okay? We're going to apply the haste socket just because you want to sprinkle that haste in. You need some haste in your build, okay? Let's get on to the abilities. So on Flash Concentration, you're going to be using Prayer Heal a lot. So look, we're going to be casting Heal. Here's our weak aura to show us our Flash Concentration stacks. And we just got a Surge of Light proc, but now we're at 5 stacks, right? So now Heal is 6,342 and cast in 1.2 seconds, okay? This is why this buff is so good. You have every 15 seconds, you can cast a heal over and over and over. You're healing a lot of health with this heal, and you're staying super mana efficient, okay? Now, when this bar goes down to 1.4, we want to hit the button. Boom. There's our Surge of Light proc too. Our Surge of Light proc looks like this. This means you have a free flash heal, and it becomes mana free as well. So instacast, mana free, flash heal. That helps you keep up that buff. Our next one will be Prayer of Healing. Prayer of Healing sounds really good, but since you're running this talent, Trails of Light, healing becomes way more mana efficient than this, right? So look, we're getting 1,635 on 4. So we're getting what, 6,000, about a little bit more than 6,000, almost 7,000 healing a cast. But on your heal, you're getting that 6,000, right? So let's stack this up again. So at 5 stacks, you're getting 6,342 plus 30%. You're healing more health than that Prayer of Healing at a lower mana cost. Almost more than half the mana cost you're getting it, and a lower cast rate. Prayer of Healing is very rare you're going to use it. I keep it on my bar just in case, but it's very rare. Circle of Healing. Circle of Healing is going to be one of your insta-casts. This is a little bit less mana efficient than heal, but if you're ever running or in a boss fight like at the top boss fight where you have to move and dodge certain mechanics, you can cast this for a short insta-heal burst. Not a huge burst, but 2,000 HP across 4 party members. Pretty good burst. So that's your insta-cast. Your next insta-cast will be Holy Word Sanctify. This is going to be one of your holy words. You're going to use this before you pop Apotheosis. You're going to be using this for insta-cast. You're going to be using it as much as you can on those certain times. So your next ability is Shadow Word Pain. Shadow Word Pain is your main dot damage. If you can apply this to all the creatures, everyone around, and keep 100% of time, your DPS will go significantly up. I would say focus on healing first. If you're starting off on Holy Priest and you're just learning, keep your heals up, worry about Shadow Pain later. Eventually start working it in. Start getting it in there. Shadow of Pain, a lot of damage over time. So your next one will be Holy Word Chastise. Holy Word Chastise is an in-cap without Sincere, but with Sincere it's a 4-second stun. So it deals 2,000 damage. It's good just to rotate whenever you want to push out some damage. It's not too much mana. It's a good ability. Also, make sure you use it before Apotheosis because that cooldown resets. Your next one here is Holy Fire. Holy Fire is your next dot damage. If some mob will be able to take a whole Holy Fire, always cast Holy Fire on that mob. Let that whole dot go down because you're doing like 4,000, 5,000 damage with Holy Fire if you let the dot go down, which is a significant amount if you consistently cast it. Smite's going to be your next filler damage because Smite allows your Surge of Light to proc. Smite also is mana efficient. You may not be doing a lot of damage. You may feel like you're just poking mobs, but every time you can get a Smite in, every time you can spam Smite, do it. I mean, if you don't have to heal, spam Smite. Now death. Death is going to be your execute. It is pretty good cooldown. If you want to use an execute, what I like to do is I like to run up, open up with it, do that extra 1,473 damage for 250 mana, and then keep smiting. Always though, use it when they're below 15 or below 20% HP. Even if you're not going to kill them, cast it as soon as you get 20% HP because you're doing that big extra damage, that 150 plus extra damage. Next one is Powered Shield. Powered Shield is going to be your main mobility spell if you're running Body and Soul. Some situations I can say is like, after Pride, you can put Powered Shield on everyone, renew on everyone, and then just run, right? You get that mobility for everyone. Compared to Angelic Feather, you get it on 3 people. It is less mana efficient, but with Pride and with how efficient the rest of your build is, mana is not your problem. Mana is not going to be a problem for you. So Mind Soothe. Mind Soothe is another thing I don't have bound to a key, but it is used in multiple dungeons. This allows you to do some simple skips. This allows you to do a few things here and there. So your next big healing ability, this is going to be your big oh shit button sometimes. Like, man, I need to get some heals put in here. Well, that was unfortunate. Holy moly. Okay, Holy Word Sanctify. Holy Word Sanctify is going to be your big oh shit heal button, right? Sometimes. Holy Sanctify is going to be an instant cast for 2,000 mana and heals an ally for 13,000 HP. Now, Holy Word Sanctify is also cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds when you cast Healer Flash Heal. So it's up a lot more than 1 minute, right? Because you're always passing that heal. Always. Boom, boom, boom. Heal, heal, heal. So really, you can use this on cooldown. It's also, make sure to use it before you cast Apotheosis. Like I said, it reduces the cooldown to 0 and also makes it free. Purify. Purify is going to be your Dispel. It's going to be dispelling magic and disease, useful in a lot of dungeons right now. Prayer of Mending. Prayer of Mending is one of the next most mana efficient spells that you have, okay? You place a 5-stack ward on someone, which heals them for 1,140, and then jumps another person when they take damage. It can jump up to 5 times, and it lasts 30 seconds after each jump. So when you're running that Benediction, and you're running the Tales of Light or a New Faith, you cast this 100% uptime, your heals are going to go up. Psychic Scream. Psychic Scream is not the most useful ability in dungeons, but it does help. One thing that you would use Psychic Scream on is when you have the mask, those enraging masks on DOS. You can Psychic Scream those masks and make them disappear, make you not have to worry about it, right? Mind Games. Mind Games is going to be another big damage, right? You can pop Mind Games on a boss, blow some huge damage, make sure your tank kills that next 7,000 damage it takes. Awesome ability, okay? Divine Hymn. Divine Hymn will be another cooldown that you'll be wanting to use pretty consistently, okay? What it does is it heals your party member or raid for 5,608 over 7 seconds. It increases healing to them by 10%. But if you're not in raid, it actually increases the healing by 100%. That's a huge buff, right? You're doubling your healing done with Divine Hymn. So if you're ever like, your pride damage is going to be low, that, right? Like you have another time where everyone's taking big damage, pop Divine Hymn, let it run for a few seconds even, and then get out of it and start pumping heals into people, start pumping Sanctifies, start pumping your Serenities. Guardian Spirit, like we went over before, increases healing done by 60%, and when the target dies, they get revived to 40% HP, and it goes on a 3-minute cooldown instead of a 60-second. Leap of Faith pulls a friendly target to you. Apotheosis resets all of those, also increases their healing by 300% and reduces their cooldown by 100%. And Desperate Prayer gives you 25% max HP and heals you 25% of that for 10 seconds. It does that. Really good self-heal, like a mini pot. Whenever you're, mini pot defensive, just go ahead and pop that. And then Renew. Renew, it fills the target with a Faith of Light and healing them for 4,000 health over 15 seconds. Pretty mana efficient if you can use it on Pride, right? Just after Pride, pop them on everyone. If they're not topped off, they'll be topped off by the time you get somewhere. All right, and that was the abilities overlook. So we'll go into a few add-ons that we have. Okay, guys, welcome back. We're going to show one of the add-ons, one of the weak auras I believe that you need if you're running this Mythic Plus. So what we see here is we're going to kill these guys. We are one-shotting them. Okay, but you hear that and you see this? This means that your Prayer Mending is up. It's going to blink once at you and it means it's up. You can cast it on yourself and then keep in combat, This just tries to remind you that your prayer mending's up and that you need to be casting it when it's on cooldown. See it? Hearing that dink. Alright guys, and that was the weak aura that I wanted to show you. There's a few other ones that we'll get into more when I go into an in-depth version of the guide. Another weak aura you should have, actually, now that I think about it, will be your flask concentration buff. That's going to be right here. Flask concentration. I'll try to link all these weak auras in the description here to keep you guys updated. That is that bar that you see here. This bar that allows you to keep it up. If you're running this legendary, always have that weak aura. Just easier to see, easier to know when to cast again. So now on to races. Races, Priest does not have Abyss race. Their races can range from Tauren, Goblin, Blood Elf, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Personally, I like Goblin just for the racial of Rocket Jump. We're a slow class, and the extra mobility is nice to have. So don't worry about the race, man. Pick what you like, pick what looks good. All of them are good. One thing I didn't go over is trinkets. There's going to be a whole lot of trinkets that are viable currently. Right now I'm running Cube, the quantum device, and Tough. This just allows you to keep it up, keep your healings up if you ever go mana hungry, or if you ever have a panic heal. Both of these will heal your target if they die, or Tough will heal your target if they die. It's 16,000 HP, or over 6 seconds they'll heal it. And then Quantum will allow you to get mana back, will allow you to get haste buff. It does a whole bunch of things. It's a jack of all trades, right? So those are both really good. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. That was a Holy Priest guide for basics up to advanced. If you guys want to know more about it, please leave it in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to comment it. I'll respond. I read all your comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.